Johnny, I wanted to start with you first. You've built this legacy for being one of the strongest competitors and strategic minds of the challenge. And anytime you're a part of these series, it seems like you're immediately targeted. What was your strategy going into the Traitors, knowing your reputation precedes the challenge? And was it beneficial having those prior relationships with some of your fellow competitors?
I knew going in that no matter how hard I tried, my past was going to come back to haunt me. So I was like, I had it in my head. I'm like, if I am not made a traitor, which we is all obviously done in secret, then my time here is going to be very limited. I didn't know it was going to be as limited as it was. But I wanted to go in. I wanted to show that I was a team player. I wanted to show that it's like, yes, I'm a threat potentially to your game, but I'm also an asset to have here because I'm going to help you win. And I was hoping that with the Traitors, when they saw that, the desire to get rid of me was going to be outweighed by the likelihood that I was going to help them win money. But it just goes to show that some people will cut off their nose to spite their face, and people who aren't confident in themselves and their abilities, like people named Dan Giesling, will get rid of anybody that they perceive as like, a threat, not to their game, but like to their camera time. So I went in and once I found out that I wasn't a traitor, I was like, I just got to cause as much chaos as I possibly can before I leave just to make good TV. And I think I did that.
You definitely did. And the relationship between you and Alan is hilarious. And Larsa, you and Marcus are breaking history as the first couple to compete on this show. How helpful was it coming into this competition, knowing that you had somebody that you could completely trust? And were there any early conversations about what would happen if one of you ended up being a traitor and the other wasn't?
Yeah, I feel like we spoke about if one of us was to get murdered or banished, that we would stay at the hotel and wait for the other person, and that didn't happen. But I also feel like we had a target on our back. Coming in as a couple really had people on edge. I don't think they wanted to see us together, but we had a whole conversation before we got there. And we basically said, hey, we're going in as individuals, every man for himself, God for us all.
Right.
And we're here to have fun and, play the game. And that's kind of what our intention was from the very moment we, landed in Scotland.
What's funny is we actually had this conversation in the SUV before the game even started because
Right.
Kevin, with the three of us were all there in the same. That's how we got to know each other. And I was sitting there being like, all right, so what happens if one of you is the traitor and the other is not? Are you going to murder the other one just to throw everyone off the scent? Because that would be a smart move. Or like, how's that going to play out? So we were already thinking about that.
We were there to play the game. We were there to play the game. And so anything goes.
Yeah. We really wanted to win individually. I think I think we were there to play the game. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of people weren't comfortable with that. They thought it was, two of us against,
right.
individual
They thought we
players.
had it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect segue to this next question. But Marcus, was a strategy to lean into the fact that you were a couple or established early on that you were your own competitors? And how did you adapt that strategy based on who you were competing alongside and the various twists?
I mean, I think, look, at the end of the day, we were competing as individuals, but there was some sort of alliance there. Obviously, I'm not going to eliminate my girl, so it just happened. It just played out the way it was supposed to.
I would have eliminated you by the way.
I know. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Johnny, having built such an illustrious tenure in reality competitions, who is somebody that you've competed alongside of that you think would do well on this show, and who's somebody who would struggle and why?
Let's see. I think Wes would do very well at this. However, I think he might run into the same problem as me. It's very difficult when you come in. A lot of people coming into this game, yes, they are reality television or, just television celebrities in general. But when you come in with a reality television competition background, obviously that is viewed entirely differently. I kind of went through something similar on the show House of Villains I just did. So yeah, I think that Wes would do very well. Who would struggle? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's anyone's guess. I literally thought this season, I thought CT was going to be targeted before me because I would think that he would be perceived as a bigger threat than me. But that wasn't the case. So it's really difficult to tell who's going to do well and who's not, and who's going to, rub people the right way and the wrong way. And apparently I did both of those things. I don't know which way I rubbed Alan, though. I'm still trying to figure that out. I couldn't tell if he liked me or hated me, or it was kind of somewhere in the middle.
leave it to you to pick at Alan's fashion sense. And Marcus and Larsa, final question for the two of you. This is such a departure from your worlds. What was the most surprising part about this experience?
I feel like for me, I feel like I wouldn't necessarily do all the physicality stuff. And so I think like the physical aspect, the challenges, that to me was the hardest part. I just kind of wanted to make sure that like we did well. And so of course I was like, Johnny, whatever we're doing it together.
But you did well doing it. That's the thing. That's what's cool about
That,
shows like this and competitions. You push yourself to somewhere you have never pushed yourself to, and then you come out of that and being like, "Holy shit, I did that."
Yeah.
no, Larsa's game plan was to align herself with the smartest team, and I feel like she did that very well. And
I like to be in good company.
exactly.
Yeah.